Hey y'all, welcome to Life on Helton Creek. I'm Mimi.
Pop.
This is Pa. We're going to show you hay time start to finish and what's involved and how it's done and when it's done and what you got to look out for. And so, of course, I have the hay expert here to show y'all and introduce you, first of all, to the equipment. So tell them what this is.
This is a Kubota disc mower. It was originally Vicon design, so it's got 3 blades per hat. It's a 9-foot 2-inch cut, I think. So it's a DM 2028. We've got it hooked to the M8200 Kubota, so it's 82 horsepower. In this field, it's fairly smooth, so.
Where are the 3 blades? Here's, this is a blade.
So these spin, and so I got 3 blades. Some of the other manufacturers have kind of an oblong hat that has 2 blades on it.
So there's the inside where you can see up close. way it lays it down.
Yeah.
Just
mostly fescue and clover on this. There's a little orchard grass down in here. And
you see how.
So this is the second cut and it's midterm. It's not real thick in places and it's pretty good in places. But our motive for this is one, to get that old coarse Johnson grass down. Two, we'll get some real good tender fall growth to maybe square bale this field with.
So you can see the tops hanging up over the grass there. When you see that sprig coming up, that's Johnson grass. And that head is a seed head. And so the older and bigger, the bigger it gets, the tougher it gets.
Right. It's just like all the grass. When it starts to mature and everything, it gets tougher. And so there's more of it. It's harder to cure.
Yeah.
So it's harder to get dried out and with those stems. And there's a lot more that the cattle's not going to eat.
So we're trying to get a mid-season cut here, and hopefully we'll have a decent cut for a third cutting too.
Yeah,
the way the weather.
Mid-September, as long as we get rain and everything, especially that front field. That field over there that I mowed last night is almost all orchard grass, and so even if it's a little bit thin, we'll probably try to square bale it because it's just going to be outstanding hay.
So what's the difference between orchard grass and Johnson grass?
Well, it's a different, if it's different species. There's another one.
Yep, there's somebody.
Everybody's cutting hay.
Everybody's cutting hay.
So orchard grass is, it's a little darker. It's a little richer looking grass than the fescue. Fescue is, we did our soil test. And the fescue samples that we turned in had 11% crude protein. It was very digestible.
Not soil,
forage
test.
I'm sorry. And the orchard grass that we forage tested was 16%. So it's just kind of a higher producing species. Mm-hmm. It's a little harder to grow, but it does pretty decent. And it makes really good horse hay. So Timothy and orchard grass is what all the horse people desire. We're a general purpose hay. You know, it's good enough.
All-inclusive hay.
I was jamming.
Yeah, I was always jamming in the tractor.
I have it cut to leave about 3.5 inches of grass left, so I don't cut it real aggressive. You can tilt this thing down and make it just nub the ground, but it's hard on the stand if you do that. So we try to leave it a little bit, and that promotes the return growth. I went to a lecture once, and they said basically if your root structure on your grass is figure the roots go about as deep as what's on top. So if you mow it like a carpet just down to the dirt, you're not going to have any root development underneath, so it's not going to be able to withstand drier weather. And we have pretty good luck at doing it about that. Rule of thumb is I try to put the toe of my boot under my blade.
Can y'all see that?
So that's kind of my measuring tool. I know about
That's
where.
a good measuring tool. The toe of your boot.
Yeah.
Between the blade and the ground.
Yeah, just set your foot there.
Y'all write that down.
If your toe will go under it, that's good. And I've got the top link measured, so I kind of know how to set the thing every time. But these turn kind of opposite. They turn really, really, really fast. And it's just a real efficient design for cutting hay.
It's a lot better than old sickle mower, ain't it?
Oh, so much better. And
we've cut a lot of hay with a sickle mower, y'all. A lot of hay, hadn't we?
Yep.
Back in the day. Curtain is a safety measure.
Yeah, it keeps things from flying all over the place.
and it works. The one thing that these mowers do not like, they don't like rocks. They don't like unlevel ground necessarily. If you got trash in your field, you probably need to clean it up for the most part, right? No. They don't like debris, if you will.
And the straighter you run, the better it does.
Yeah.
Corners is complicated.
They usually leave a little bit in the corners and then go back and get it at one time.
Well, instead of picking up and going around, it's it's unproductive time. So usually we'll cut corners and leave a little edge, and then we'll cut the ends. But they always, it's never perfect. So it kind of depends on how the field lays out, exactly what we do.
This is the beginning stages. This is a mid-season cut for us. Now tell them what you do before you start cutting hay. Your weather.
Oh, yeah.
He's a weather guru.
Yeah. I'm a meteorologist, an amateur meteorologist.
He's a meteorologist in overalls.
So we kind of watch the surface maps, and I don't pay much attention to the local news because they.
Don't say that.
Okay. I rely on my own research to decide whether it's suitable weather to mow. We want 3 to 5 days of good dry weather. If it's raining on the front end of the process, I don't worry too much. I'll mow hay in a little drizzly rain because it doesn't hurt it when it's green and starting to dry down. But once it's dried down, if it rains on it, it really affects the quality of it. It just
the nutritional value
depletes
for
it.
sure. So 3 to 5 days is a day to cut, at least 2 days to cure, unless it's like 100 degrees, and then it'll cure nearly in a day. And then another day to roll it, rake it and roll it. And then prime opportunity is for it to be a dry day to haul it out of the field too.
Extremely thick. We might run the tedder through it to kind of fluff it up and get it turned over. Honestly, I try not to just automatically ted hay to gain a day unless the weather's iffy. I have been known to come in and rake it and let it stand in the windrow for an extra few hours to let some air circulation, because we like really hot weather to cook it. We like ideally low humidity, and
which is hard to find here.
We
in
like
Tennessee.
wind.
Yeah, a breeze is perfect.
A nice breeze is gonna pull that moisture out of that stuff, and it's gonna just turn it to a nice brown, and then the underlayer is going to be a little bit of a green tint, but it's going to be dry, and so it's going to have a nice color to it when it's rolled up. If we've got a whole lot down and we're really pressed for time, we'll ted it, and then we'll rake right in front of the roller and just take it up almost immediately.
But that's usually only according to
it's according to
corn flies are terrible.
It's according to the the conditions. It's got some clover in it, so if you come in here and ted the clover, it's gonna shatter the leaf off of the stem, and the only thing you're gonna collect is the stem.
So tedding should never be automatic. Only really a weather-related thing.
The people that sell tedders would disagree.
Well, obviously.
And it's got its place. Like I said, if it's really thick hay and it's just not going to cure out underneath, or if it does get wet, we had some neighbors that had some unfortunate luck not beating the rain, and it took them a little extra time to get it dried up.
If y'all enjoy this, and we will expound on all the where to's and what fors. Be glad to answer any questions you might have. He told you that we were the equipment we're using is Kubota. The tractor's 8200. What's the mower?
A DM 2028.
DM 2028. And so that's the equipment we're using today. And it is a beautiful day in Tennessee today. In the shade, there's actually a slight breeze blowing, and I'm not
A little lower humidity today.
A little bit lower humidity. I don't feel like
change.
I'm standing in a sauna right now. May change in a little, you know, this is Tennessee. Give it 15 minutes, and if you don't like the weather, it'll change. All right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, leave us any questions or comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share with your friends. And thanks so much for joining us here today at Life on Helton Creek. And remember, you're never alone.